Hey, what's up guys? Sean Nalawani here of BodyTransformationTruth.com, and in today's video I want to share 12 effective tips that you can employ to minimize the amount of hunger that you experience during a fat loss diet and in turn maximize your chances of long-term success. So regardless of what type of dieting method that you employ or how your training plan is specifically structured, fat loss ultimately comes down to one central thing, and that is maintaining a net calorie deficit over time by consistently burning more calories than you consume. And the fact is simple: when your daily caloric expenditure consistently exceeds your caloric intake, your body is going to naturally kick into survival mode and produce feelings of hunger in order to motivate you to eat. And food cravings are the number one reason why most people ultimately fall off track with their fat loss diet and end up failing in the long run. So although these 12 tips are not going to completely eliminate your hunger altogether, they will make a very significant positive difference when it comes to reducing them down to a more manageable level. So let's go over it. Tip number one is to maintain a small calorie deficit and focus on losing fat at a gradual pace. This is the most basic and most obvious tip for you to employ, but it's also the most important. Create too large of a calorie deficit, and not only will you lose an excessive amount of lean muscle mass throughout your cutting phase, but you're also going to feel excessively hungry as well. Always think of fat loss as being more of a marathon rather than a sprint, and focus on creating a small calorie deficit that gradually strips the fat away while allowing you to maintain your lean muscle mass and while keeping your hunger levels relatively controlled. And a good guideline to follow for this is to employ a calorie deficit of around 15 to 20% below your maintenance level and aiming to lose about 1 to 2 pounds of total body fat per week. Tip number two is to make sure you're getting enough protein. Protein is the most filling of the 3 macronutrients, and it also plays a very important role in helping you spare lean muscle tissue as you diet down. A good guideline here is to aim for around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight daily from lean, high quality sources. Tip number three, don't let your dietary fat intake drop too low. The idea that dietary fat makes you fat is one of the biggest myths when it comes to proper fat loss nutrition, and maintaining adequate fat intake is a very important aspect of your overall plan. Not only does a sufficient amount of dietary fat help to keep your testosterone levels from dipping too low throughout your cut, but it will also leave you feeling fuller and more satisfied in between meals by slowing down the rate of gastric emptying. And for those reasons, I would recommend that you aim to get at least 20% of your total daily calories from fat. Tip number four is to ensure that you're eating plenty of fiber. Fiber absorbs water as it moves through your digestive tract and essentially gels and expands in your stomach to increase feelings of fullness and satiety. And just like fat, fiber also slows down the rate of gastric emptying. And a good guideline here is to shoot for about 15 grams of fiber for every 1,000 calories that you consume. Tip number five, eat more vegetables. This somewhat overlaps with the previous point, but vegetables are one of the very best food sources for your fat loss diet because they're very high in overall volume, but extremely low in calories. Consuming vegetables with several of your meals throughout the day is a great way to help fill yourself up while keeping the total calorie content of your meals down. Not only are vegetables a great tool for reducing hunger, but they're also incredibly micronutrient dense as well. Tip number six, optimize your daily meal frequency and layout. The research on meal frequency and its effects on basal metabolic rate are fairly clear, and that is that as long as you're consuming the same overall calorie and macronutrient totals for the day as a whole, the specific way in which you lay out those meals doesn't really have any significant effect on your bottom line fat loss. And for that reason, you're going to want to experiment with different meal plan structures in order to find the one that works best for you in terms of controlling appetite. So for some people, that might mean eating 6 small meals a day. For others, it might mean 4 medium-sized meals. And for others, it might mean 3 larger meals. In addition to that, some people do best by consuming a larger percentage of their calories earlier on in the day with fewer calories later on, while others do better using the exact opposite approach. And finally, you can also consider trying out the popular intermittent fasting protocol by consuming all of your daily calories within an 8-hour feeding window and then fasting for the remaining 16 hours of the day. So just play around with these different variables and see which one works best for you. Tip number 7 is to increase your water intake. So aside from drinking plenty of water throughout the day as a whole, you can also try consuming a couple glasses of water with each meal in order to increase overall feelings of fullness. Tip number 8 is to find the right balance between dieting and cardio. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, fat loss ultimately comes down to maintaining a net calorie deficit over time by burning more calories than you consume. Now you can create a calorie deficit by consuming less food, by increasing your activity level, or through a combination of both. Now both of these variables, so reducing calorie intake or increasing calorie expenditure, will obviously stimulate your appetite, but everyone does react a bit differently to each one. Some people are able to manage their hunger more effectively by creating a larger calorie deficit through their diet and then performing less cardio as a result, while others prefer to consume more calories through their diet, but to perform a higher amount of cardio in order to create the same overall calorie deficit. So try playing around with each of these variables by either consuming fewer calories and exercising a bit less, or by consuming more calories and exercising a bit more to see which one you prefer. Tip number 9 is to perform some HIIT cardio. Performing low intensity, longer duration aerobic sessions is fine as part of your overall plan, but do keep in mind that these types of sessions tend to have a more powerful appetite stimulating effect than high intensity, low duration cardio does. And for that reason, you can try mixing in some high intensity interval based cardio into your plan in order to burn additional calories without experiencing a significant increase in appetite. Tip number 10 is to allow for dietary flexibility. Trying to eat clean 24 hours a day is not only completely unnecessary when it comes to maximizing fat loss, but it's also a great way to ensure that you fail with your diet over the long run. Completely restricting a particular food item is only going to make you desire it more, increasing the chances that you'll eventually give in, become discouraged, and then potentially binge even further and ultimately throw your entire program off course. On the other hand, if you simply allot a small percentage of your total daily calories to come from the foods that you crave most right from the outset, your chances of long-term success are going to be hugely maximized, and with no negative effect on your fat burning results either. Remember, fat loss nutrition is all about the big picture, and including a few cheat foods here and there is not going to magically cause you to gain fat as long as it's being properly tracked. So my suggestion here is to follow the basic rule that if 80 to 90% of your total calories are coming from lean, high quality protein, minimally refined carbs, and healthy fats, then the other 10 to 20% can come from whatever foods you like, as long as it fits into your overall daily calorie and macronutrient totals. Tip number 11 is to make sure that you get enough sleep each night. Not only does chronic sleep deprivation negatively impact your mental focus, your physical strength, energy levels, and motivation, but it also boosts your appetite as well. And this is due to a decrease in leptin levels and an increase in ghrelin levels, which are two key hormones that regulate hunger. Now, everybody's individual need for sleep varies quite a bit, so I won't give you the standard 8 hours a night guideline. Instead, just aim to get enough quality sleep each night so that you feel fully rested, alert, and energized throughout the day. And tip number 12 is to slow down when you eat. Now, this is a pretty simple one, but research has shown that eating your meals at a slower, more gradual pace helps you to feel fuller and more satisfied off of a smaller volume of food. Your food isn't going to run away, so take your time and enjoy it. Now again, these 12 tips are not going to completely eliminate your food cravings altogether, but employ some or all of them and you should notice a significant positive effect that will make your diet much easier to stick to over the long term. So thanks for watching this video lesson. I hope you found the information useful here today. To get some more highly effective fat burning and muscle building nutrition tips along with step-by-step meal plans, recipes, and other helpful information, make sure to head over to bodytransformationtruth.com and grab my complete body transformation blueprint system. And you can do that by clicking the icon at the top of the video or using the link in the description box below. If you did enjoy the video, as always, please make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to stay up to date on future videos. And make sure to check out my official blog over at SeanNall.com for all of my latest articles, tips, and other updates. Talk to you again soon.